And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the Pokemon market and how it's gone absolutely crazy. It doesn't make sense. A lot of the valuation of cards and sets are not really justified. But at the same time, we're also going to talk that I don't think that's a bad thing. Honestly, the amount of new or potentially returning collectors entering the hobby is pretty mind-blowing. And sometimes you look back at it and you look at store shelves that just a year ago were plenty of product, but now it doesn't matter where you go, just store shelves are completely empty. And I think at first when this was happening, I felt a little bit of maybe a initial frustration. And obviously, I'm sure you guys have heard what happened with, the recent 25th anniversary skateboard that released at Pokemon Center and, all the craziness that went on with that. But, I had to sit back a little bit and say, yeah, it is becoming harder for me to get products. So maybe that could be a little infuriating. But at the same time, I'm watching all these new collectors and new investors get into the hobby. And it reassures the faith that I have in Pokemon's, because people do talk about, the potential of whether or not Pokemon is a bubble. And that can be true in certain senses that, yes, you do have a new influx of investors and maybe they're not in it for the long haul. But where we are right now in the hobby, and especially when it comes to prices, we are so far above, what I would call the mean, that I don't ever see prices retracting back to the levels they were at. Do I see, certain retractions on certain products? Yes, of course. But as a whole, as the entire Pokemon TCG, with all the different products available, do I see 100% pullback? No, I don't think that will ever happen. And honestly, when it does happen, that pullback, the people that are really going to make out the best in that is going to be, people like me, and hopefully the people out there are actually listening to these videos. Hopefully it will be you too who make out the best. People who got into this hobby for the right reasons and they truly believe in, Pokemon in general and, particularly for these videos, TCG. And when that big maybe dip in price or initial pullback does happen, the people that stick with it are going to be the ones who make it out the best in the long run. So when that next initial uptick does come, and again, guys, I don't know, I have no timeline anymore of when anything like that could happen, because, current supply is just definitely not meeting demand. Shelves are extremely bare. Pre-orders are sold out. All the initial, new release sets, the hype is crazy. Who knows what really is going to be the big products for the 25th anniversary. Yeah, they release those jumbo cards, but no one's interested in that. People are going to wait for whatever that set is, and there's going to probably be something big that comes out with the 25th anniversary in October. Your guess is as good as mine as what that really could be. But, think about the 20th anniversary. We saw amazing stuff come out. So, yeah, we might see the same thing happen with the 25th. And that just makes me more excited. Yeah, the demand, I think, is still going to be there in October. October, at the time of this video, only being like 9 months away. This demand's not slowing down. And don't get me wrong, there's still a part of me that, thinks I missed the boat a little bit, because, a few years ago, I wasn't buying, the bulk amount of cards that I am now. I was picking up a pack here and there because, I couldn't really justify buying, multiple booster boxes or multiple packs, or dropping, pretty large dollar amounts. Like, as you guys know, buying enough product eventually adds up. And, a few years ago, I definitely wasn't doing that. And I'm excited now because I'm able to play catch up, because prices for what I call semi-vintage products, and semi-vintage is diamond and pearl area. Maybe you could really stretch it and say some of the black and white sets, but anything that was before the hype is what I like to now call vintage, because we're probably never going to see a reprint of any of the diamond and pearl sets, and we're probably never going to see a reprint of any of the black and white sets. And that's just because time ticks on, and there's so many new sets coming out. But I get to get excited again for the older sets, because I can now go back and revisit them and pick up cards and flip cards and grade cards and do things to make the older sets exciting for me, because these sets now have value to them, and they never used to have value. So, like, the value I talk about is the ability to go through sets, find gems, find hidden gems. And the crazy thing about this market right now is people are stuck in two places. They're either stuck in WotC, so you got all your Wizard or your Coast sets, or people are just stuck in Modern. So, for Modern, it's Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield expansions. So there is like this just niche of the market that I have now been able to get back into, because there is a small subset of the collectors out there who are purchasing a lot of the diamond and pearl area and black and white stuff, and the prices are creeping up, and the market and just the amount of products that are out there. Guys, there's so many different sets that you can get excited about. Guys, there's so many different sets out there that if you really want, you can start to dive deep into all these. There's Sun and Moon, and that's 12 expansions. And then you have Sword and Shield and Rebel Clash and Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage, and pretty soon Battle Styles is coming out. But just think about like a very small subset of time. It's just the Diamond and Pearl, sets. That's only 2007 to 2010. Well, there's like Call Legends is in there and stuff, which is kind of its own standalone set. But just think of the Diamond and Pearl area. You got Diamond and Pearl base set, Mysterious Treasure, Secret Wonders, Great Encounters, Majestic Dawn, Legends Awaken, Stormfront, Platinum, Rising Rivals, Supreme Victors, Arceus, Heart and Gold and Soul Silver, Unleashed, Undaunted, Triumphant, Call of Legends, and then you get into black and white. That's 3 years of time from 2007 to 2010, where it's all those sets I just listed. Think about how much you can dive into each one of those sets and really start to understand the sets and research the sets. And, like I said, I'm getting excited because those sets used to always be exciting and always be interesting, but the financial gains to really dive into those, they weren't there. And, do I wish I have a time machine? Sure. Good luck finding somebody who's in the hobby right now and just doesn't wish they have a time machine. But, you have to move on from that. But at the same time, a lot of these sets have some amazing artwork, amazing cards, amazing hidden gems that are just, in the sets that people haven't rediscovered yet. And what has really been one of the key factors to help this market explode a little bit is the acceptance of collectors to graded cards. There was always PSA cards. There's more Pokemon cards graded by PSA than anything else ever. But you know what? PSA is dead. CGC is going to be the future. Unless these grading card companies can react and turn around, change turnaround times and stuff, they're going to fall to the wayside. Will PSA ever lose value? No, of course not. Stop. Like, please don't start digging into my words for more than they mean. But what I'm talking about is, CGC with, yeah, they were 30-day turnaround times. Now they're 60s. But it's given new investors an option that's not almost a year with PSA. And people are getting excited about graded cards. And, when you get excited about graded cards, you start to look at the best cards of individual sets, and eventually, giving enough time, if you stick with this hobby, if you're a new investor or an investor / collector getting back into it, eventually, you can only have so much fun with the WotC error. Because a lot of the packs are overpriced, like, the truth is, look at Jungle and Fossil, guys. There's so many first edition Jungle and Fossil cards out there, they're not that special. Yeah, first edition base set cards are special, but first edition Team Rocket cards, yeah, they hold this value, but the amount of cards that are out there is actually a very lot. And eventually people will start to look at the supply versus the demand. And then once people start moving to the other products, like I said, like the Diamond and Pearl, and, we could go back and talk about the EX series, but I don't want to get too deep into all the sets. The print runs for the middle sets, like the EX and the Diamond and Pearl and stuff, when Pokemon hype had died down from those original WotC era sets, those are going to be what people eventually are going to start to fight over, just because the supply is not going to be there. Right now, the demand isn't like astronomical, so we're not seeing those prices like just explode yet. But eventually, people are going to get to the place where they've worked their way through a lot of these sets. And it takes time, Think about just the Diamond and Pearl, how many sets I just listed to you, like that era. It takes time for people to work through all those sets. And, you might have some people drop off, but the way this hobby is now, it seems that just more and more people are joining, almost every day. And people talk about like the initial hype that came with, like box breakings, and yeah, there's like the whole Logan Paul stuff. But honestly, guys, like that's, yeah, I think, I'm not going to lie, like I see that influx that has come into the hobby, and, COVID-19 and people being at home and maybe reliving the nostalgia that they were experiencing as a kid. And trust me, I know about Pokemon enough that if enough of you guys, that when you get that itch, you're not going to be able to shake it. And this hobby is going to be awesome for the long run. And yeah, at first, especially right now, it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but I'm enjoying the ride. And honestly, I hope you guys are all enjoying the ride. And like I said, the beautiful thing about everybody getting back in this, and, kind of to talk about my earlier point, is, thank you all out there who are listening to these videos. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there listening that have been in the hobby for a little while now. But for all the new investors and new collectors, like, thank you for helping me have, a candle lit underneath me to go back and look at some of these sets that maybe I have missed or don't have a huge amount of product in, because I'm excited, and I hope you guys are excited. I know this video was just more or less a tangent for, I don't even know how long I've been talking for. But hey guys, if you made it this far in the video, you are absolutely awesome. I appreciate your support so much. And if you haven't had a chance, please like the video, because if you guys like this video, it's going to upvote this video with the YouTube algorithm, and it's going to make this content available to more people when they do search results. And if you really are a true supporter of this channel, which I hope some of you guys are, it's going to help me out a lot. And if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. And, I try to produce a lot of videos. And, the reason I do this is I'm making these videos because I enjoy it. And, I enjoy talking about the hobby and, maybe educating a little bit. But at the same time, some of you guys are educating me in certain things. And I appreciate that too. And this is just a fun time to be in the hobby. And I hope you guys are excited as me. And, I don't know what the future is going to bring for, TCG as a whole. But I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon, guys. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.